Okay, how's everybody doing? Can you all see that?
Yes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay, yeah, so thank you guys for joining the call. I wanted to have a conversation about this National Mortgage Settlement Counseling Program. Folks have been hit hard by COVID and recessions, and state and federal government have money for relief for people that are struggling to pay their mortgage or pay their rent. So I wanted to bring you all on and kind of talk about the African-American community not taking advantage of the resources that are out there. So, HUD counseling is something that Mr. Luckett does, and Ms. Sabina is also in the mortgage finance industry. And so they're a great resource. BAPAC has been giving some funding to do outreach around this. And why don't you guys both introduce yourselves?
Ladies first.
Well, thank you, Derek. I was going to yield to you, but I'll just jump right on in. And again, my name is Sabina Bradford. I have a mortgage company called Rapid Response Mortgage. And I also have a real estate company called Rapid Response Realty. And in that, it's pretty much centered around housing and financing and purchasing and finding programs to help save your homes. There are multiple programs that are available out there that you can use. And when you hear from Derek, who is one of our HUD counselors, he'll give you more information. But I like to make available, there are often times where we might be able to refinance you out of that situation that you're in, so that you can get a new loan and get a fresh start. That option is always available. And as controversial as it is, but as beneficial as it is, we also have, for those that are senior citizens, the reverse mortgage process that will improve your financial situation as well. But there's a lot of education that needs to occur around that process to understand how you can benefit from that and save your home as well. Those are all opportunities available to save your home so that you can have it to pass on as we begin and learn to build wealth by not letting go of those things that we already have. Again, I am Rapid Response Mortgage, Rapid Response Realty, and I always do a lot of education around home buying, home purchasing, and home saving. And I'm going to turn this back over to Aaron and Derek until we get further down the road.
Okay, so Ms. Sabina, can you give an example of somebody who has an issue with their mortgage and has come to you for help? What does that process look like?
Well, you always have to, first of all, we have to let everybody know that anything that they discuss with us is extremely confidential. Sometimes people feel slightly embarrassed because they find themselves in a situation, but that's just what life does. So on a delicate matter, when I'm talking with someone who has an issue around the house, I do an assessment to see what is the best way for them to salvage this situation to save their homes. And there's a series of questions and conversations that I have with those individuals. And I fact find to find, and when I'm fact finding, because I have been doing mortgage lending since 1986, I can always determine what the best route is for them to go to save their homes. In addition to that, having the availability of and having access to multiple programs and opportunities out there that some people may not want to even look at because a lot of work is involved in doing some of these loans to help people save their homes. So I go through a brief consultation with them as I assess where they need to go so that I can direct them and assist them in that manner or refer them to the person or place where they will get the help that is required.
Okay, so you sort of take a consultation and you quarterback the situation, figure out what they need, and you help them approach the situation.
Absolutely. I like the quarterback analogy since I am a football fan.
Mhm.
And Mr. Luckett, as a HUD counselor, there are agencies across California, and you guys are ready to help people navigate challenging times. So can you talk a little bit about what you do and the solutions that you have?
Well, I want to give full disclosure, first of all. Aaron, thank you for allowing me to be on here today. I know that with BayPAC, we can make some change and help people to save their homes. And what that means to me when I say save the home is not just saving it, it's saving it, maintaining it, and passing it forward for generational wealth and teaching them every step along the way. Um, to give the full disclosure, I am a NID HUD approved counseling agency. And to give full disclosure, I am a mortgage broker, a real estate broker, past insurance license as well. And on top of that, I'm the chairman of the board for the National Association of Real Estate Brokers. So that's my full disclosure. So with that being said, I get to talk to families on several different platforms or several different ways, depending on what's going on with individuals. We do at NID, which is a local branch office. It's in Lemon Grove at 6904 Federal Boulevard, Lemon Grove, California, 91945. We do foreclosure prevention. We do home buying counseling, and we give them an 8-hour certification for that home buying counseling so that they can be able to use any of the city or county programs what funds are available for. And nowadays, even with people struggling on their homes, they also, some lenders are requiring them to have that counseling. So that certification that they understand how to maintain the home and so forth. The other thing that we do is post-purchase. When someone purchases a home, we counsel them on actually, and we follow the guidelines of HUD and what they say that they need to know, but we also give them an extra level of education. That extra level of education would be, we talk about how it impact the Black community. So we kind of give them that just as a freebie for coming to us. Modification assistance, we kind of help guide them through when there's a modification. We don't do all the paperwork because it's up to them to do all the paperwork. But if we can be a liaison between them and their actual banking institution, we're happy to help with that portion of it. Reverse mortgage purchase. We do reverse mortgage purchases and reverse mortgage refinance, as well as give them someone to talk to who is what we call HECM HECM counselor. And that's a home equity conversion mortgage counselor who is certified to speak with them in regards to the reverse mortgage through HUD. And it's a HUD counselor who gives them a certificate saying, yes, you're in your right mind. Yes, you understand the product. And they get that certificate. And without that certificate, they cannot get a reverse mortgage or refinance their reverse mortgage if they need to. And rental clients. We often talk with people who are looking for a place to rent, or they are, if they're not looking for a place to rent, they are also looking for a rental assistance. There's a lot of different programs out here. The thing is that we have to get people to apply for the funding. I know for a fact that there's a couple of things that are coming up that could be detrimental to some folks and helpful to others. Detrimental to the landlord if they give an additional extension for the 3 months. Helpful to the family that's struggling on their rent. Yesterday was the last day, which was the 31st of March, to apply for rental assistance. At this juncture, there is that cutoff has came and gone. Today, which is the 1st of April, they are supposed to sign whether or not they're going to extend the eviction process. If they do extend the eviction process, they'll have an additional 3 months to establish other housing, get caught up, but they'll have 3 months more of time in order not to have to move, or some of them will become homeless because they have nowhere to go. So that gives them additional time. So I'm praying that that happens. And then, Aaron, the last thing is they can all go to the San Diego Housing Commission. San Diego Housing Commission has some down payment and closing cost assistance as well. There's other programs also. They should go to Google, and they should Google in homeowner assistance or rental assistance, and call those places, because not all of them have the same amount of money, nor do they all get their funding from the same location. So I gave you a big spiel there, and I hope that I gave you some information that you can build on. And if not, I do want to make sure, I'm sorry, if not, you can give me a call, and you can call us on the NID, which is the HUD approved counseling line, at 619-303-4567. That's 619-303-4567. If you know of anyone who is struggling to keep their home, to keep the home in the family, to pass the home forward for generational wealth, please have them to call 619-303-4567, where we can help counsel them, guide them through that process, make sure that we've exhausted all means and ways that they would be able to stay in that home. The idea is to keep, especially if it's an elderly person, let them just age in place. We do not want them to be uprooted. We want them to keep their place. Or if they do need to downsize, we want to be able to help guide them through the process, and also make sure that their heir is with them, that they will know what to do if something happens to that elderly person. So with that being said, Aaron, I'm turning it back over to you, and I'm ready for any questions you may have.
So, Mr. Luckett, we know that the Black population in San Diego County is just a small, 4, 5, 6%, but they make up 44 to 46% of all homelessness. 15 years after the Great Housing Recession, FHA is, they put $50 million into the counseling. They've helped over 17,000 households. What are some of the reasons why African Americans are experiencing hardship at a greater rate than other groups?
Well, we can go back to basics on that. Going back to basics, back in the day, we were denied generational wealth as a people. And denied generational wealth was FHA came up with redlining, which really kind of hindered us on getting financing. Even if you were the right person with the right job, it was just hard to get the financing. And now that financing is made available to certain people, we're still behind the gun. So it used to be, you may have heard the expression, when one groups get the flu, we get pneumonia. Well, and that's because that generational wealth did not happen. So we didn't have it, whereas someone handed us, or we had equity and somebody inherited. We came strictly from scratch, and we're still scratching today. So if a person is homeless, that individual is totally homeless, or thinking he has nowhere to go, he is in a destitute spot, whereas a homeless white person would have an advantage still to some degree. And the reason our numbers are so low also, we don't have to just look at the not so low, but that we're not being able to get off the streets, I'll put it like that, or apply for the funding for it. If you're homeless, most of the time you don't even have an address. You have nowhere to get your mail. You don't know when your appointments if you have no phone. You may have mental illness things that are happening out there while they're on the street and while they're homeless. It's so many different variables to that area. But what I will say to you the short of it all is that we were put in this place a long time ago by the federal government. And this is the truth. So I'm not just attacking our government or the system. The systems are also there. There is fair lending fair. In my mind, no, it's not. It's fair housing fair. In my mind, no, it's not. And these are the obstacles that absolutely keep the homeless Black folks homeless, because all these things are variables to help create that energy, should I say.
And Ms. Sabina, so how do you think, or what do you think, whether it be the government or nonprofits, how do we reach the African American community? What are some things that prevent us from having contact with the Black community?
Well, I don't know if we're not getting contact with the Black community. Like organizations like BayPAC, we do a lot of outreach. We get the message out. We use our newspapers, we use our social media, and the information is out there. I think where we're falling short is letting our community know it's okay to ask for help. Because, sometimes we don't want to ask for help because we're embarrassed about the situations that we find ourselves in.
Mm.
But, there's so many opportunities out there. And we also have messengers like Derek and myself. We're out there constantly working with people, trying to share and educate on home ownership, the acquisition, the maintenance, and the benefits of home ownership, and the benefits of having an opportunity to maintain what you have. We all fall short sometimes, but it's okay. We just don't ask for help because we've been conditioned not to ask for help, because we know that the system in the past has been extremely unfair in the information that it has shared with us and that we've been able to access. We're evolving it. We're not at 100%, but we're evolving. And the more messengers that we have, the more we get the word out there, and the more it's okay to pick up the phone, ask for some help. You won't get help. Quiet mouths don't get fed. That's an expression we like to use all the time. So you have to scream. I mean, even, and I don't like to, throw religion in it, but the Bible clearly says that, idle hands, if you don't, the verse that I was thinking of just went away, but in the Bible, it says that you have to get work. You have to work, you have to ask for help, and you have to be willing to accept the help, because pride, there you go. Pride is the one thing that will keep you down on a regular basis. And and we have a lot of pride, and it's okay to be proud, but not to let pride take away from you the hard work. We took a hard hit to the gains that we've made when we had that real estate debacle back in 2008, 7, and 8, and we lost a lot of gains. And so now we are fighting our way back so that we can get to where we were and move ahead. And there are a lot more programs out there. There are a lot more messengers out there. There are a lot more avenues and vehicles that we can take advantage of. We will continue to get the word out, be messengers, be outlets. And we ask you to be mindful, be conscious, be aware, and look and see. And if you know of someone who needs help, say, hey, my brother down the street needs some help, or this person is homeless over there. We have resources, and we need to learn how to use the resources that we have available.
So it sounds like, sorry to cut you off.
No, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Yeah, so it sounds like you're saying, folks have to, look, we have pride, especially when we're taking care of our families, we have our careers, and we're hit by hard times. Folks almost don't want to ask for help because they don't want to be embarrassed by it. But it sounds like you're saying there's help out there, and it's confidential anyway.
Right.
So nobody will even know.
Can I chime in on that, Aaron, if I can?
Yeah, please.
Okay, and I totally agree with Abina in regards to the pride being part of it. The pride it's horrible in a sense, as growing up, especially in my age, it was family business is family business. We don't tell folks our business, that type
That's right.
of stuff. And that was embedded in us and drilled in us. But the business of maintaining your home, you got to call a HUD approved counseling agency. The business of buying a home or selling a home, then you need to call someone who look like you to understand you and what you need. Because I keep a box of Kleenex at my desk. When they cry, I'll cry with them, because some of it is sad. But I tell them right off the bat, you have to give me the good, the bad, and the ugly of your situation, because I'm gonna find it out anyway. And it's almost like a coach or parent or whatever. I'm gonna find, so you might as well tell me. Because if they're in my space, that means that they truly are looking for help. But the embarrassment part, I have to let them know right off the top, leave your embarrassment outside that door. When you come in here, You know, you got a friend in here, you got someone who looks like you, someone understands your credit like you, someone who understands your business like you. We have business owners who are losing businesses also, Aaron, who do not know that there's business programs out there for them to keep the business. You know, so there's so much work that we have to do. I spoke with a gentleman this week and he told me something. He said, either you have faith and you believe in something higher, or you have a ego. And if you have an ego, you're if you don't have faith, that means you're living on your ego because you're doing everything on your own. But if you have your ego and you're living strictly off of that and letting that drive you to do or not to do what you need to do, then that ego is not your amigo.
Mm.
And that was deep to me, right?
You know, I
Because
want to
that's
add to that,
what-
Derek, when you finish. I just
No,
want
go
to
ahead. Go ahead. I just wanted to let you know that I do understand, and we do have to have them to apply, let people know when they're in trouble on their home, they're about to lose the roof from over their head. We want them to save their home, save whatever type of house you have. Rent is so high, you can't afford to go somewhere else because now you got to come up with 2 or 3 times to get into another place. So if you're struggling right now to pay the rent, how you gonna go out and get another place and come in with 3 months of rent almost to get in the door?
Yeah.
So we have to try to help them to save. Call 619-303-4567. That's the NID HUD Counseling Agency if you get into any trouble on your home. BayPac asks us to partner with them on it. We are the partner of BayPac to make sure that that part happens. Go ahead, Abina, I'm sorry.
No, because what you're saying is true. And when you were talking about the ego and the faith, I just like to go back to when I was living in Atlanta. My pastor, he used to preach to us and he used to say, you have faith or fear. Fear and faith can't occupy the same space and
Cannot be in
time.
the same space, absolutely.
They can't. So either you have faith or you have fear. And I'm saying when you're in the mortgage industry and you're in the mortgage and the housing world, even though our titles may say loan officer, president of the mortgage company, we wear about 100 different hats because we have to be everything for our person buying a home and keeping a home and getting them in their whole and understanding. But what needs to happen is when we have these consultations, and I want to reiterate that they are extremely confidential. We are bound by federal law to be confidential. We cannot be disclosing your information to somebody else. It just don't happen. And I've been doing this forever, and I take that very seriously because, you know, we are proud people, and that's okay. But the pride is what gets us all the time. But when you're coming in and you're talking, if we don't know everything and we start pushing you in a direction, and then when we get hit with a surprise, that limits our ability to assist you because now we're like, oh my God, I didn't know we were there. If I knew this was there, I would have taken you a different path. That's why it's important. You may not know what the key triggers are, but we do. And that's why it's important that we understand the whole situation. I love having the tissue by your desk because I've cried many a times with my customers.
Absolutely.
And it just makes you feel extremely great. I've cried when the keys got handed to them because I helped them when they came in a situation where they didn't think they could even buy a house. Sometimes we get so comfortable with renting, we don't even understand it's better to buy a house because now you've just stabilized your major costs because rent costs are constantly going up. And I tell you, the money that you have to use to get into a house now with the down payment assistance programs, you can use that to buy a house.
Yeah.
So don't run from home ownership. Stabilize your cost. You'll be surprised. Sometimes we make the event of purchasing a house bigger than us, so we can't achieve it. And we like to bring it down so you can see the practical realities of it. And to save your home, it's important, and to maintain your home. And there are so many different ways you can do this. And my thing is, and then I'm gonna shut up, Aaron. My thing is, wherever I go, I make a homeowner. whether you're purchasing, refinancing, or you're trying to save it. My job is to make sure that we add to the list of homeowners. In April is Fair Housing Month, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities out there right now. So keep your eyes open, stay pressed to the media, stay pressed to social media. Look for places to go and functions that are being held that's supporting Fair Housing Month, not just for purchasing, but for renting and for advocacy and all of those type of opportunities. Go, Aaron.
So Ms. Sabina, to close this up, and I'll ask you to do the same, Mr. Luckett, even though you've already said so, how can folks reach you? What's the best way for folks to get in contact with you?
You can always,
Go ahead, Ms. Sabina. You can go ahead, Ms. Sabina.
Okay, you can reach me at 619-807-3168. 619-807-3168. In Rapid Response Mortgage, we are, our social media pages are coming up. So you'll be able to find my Google page under Rapid Response Mortgage, and you'll be able to find my Yelp page under Rapid Response Mortgage. And my mortgage site at rapidresponsemortgage.com. So those should be functioning within the next week. They are finishing them up, but you can always reach me at 619-807-3168.
And you can reach me. There's two ways to reach me. First of all, I'm the branch manager for the NID Housing. That phone number is 619-303-4567. That's the HUD approved counseling agency. That's where you want to get your certification for your down payment assistance, closing costs, save your home, all those things, anything pertaining to the housing itself, that's where you're going to call. Now, if someone wants to reach me for real estate or mortgage, been in the business 20 plus years, long time been around, Destiny 6 Financial. That is 619-825-9560, 619-825-9560. You can Google and all that other stuff. What Ms. Sabina said, Destiny 6 Financial. We certainly appreciate you. We will help you. My family, we're family owned and operated. I would like for my family to help your family any way we can. Thank you so much for the time today, Aaron. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank the both of you very much.
I appreciate you. And Aaron,
thanks to BayPAC as well.
I was going to say, Aaron, what you're doing is great. Keep doing what you're doing. And I'm so glad to be on the board of BayPAC where we are doing this. And thank you, Ms. Ellen Nash, who is the chair of BayPAC, for having the vision to join it, to launch this program with the National Mortgage Settlement, this National Mortgage Settlement Program. We're here to help at BayPAC, which is an awesome organization in Rapid Response Mortgage. I do exactly what I say. Thank you, Aaron, for being our vessel to get out to the community.
Thank you so much. Couldn't have said it better myself. Rapid Response and Destiny 6 Financial.
That's correct.
Take care.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Mhm.